This is what happened when someone on social media told Nic Vansteenberghe from Love Island USA Season 7 that he's bad for Alandria's brand after her Golden Globes red carpet moment. Nic and Alandrea, also known as Nicolandria by their fans, became one of the most talked about couples from the dating show that featured Taylor, Sierra, and Ace alongside them in Fiji. On January 16, 2026, just 5 days after Olandria stunned at the 83rd Annual Golden Globe Awards, Nic delivered a response that reminded everyone exactly who they're dealing with. And we need to talk about what really went down and what this couple has accomplished in the 6 months since finishing as runners-up on Love Island. If you're here for the tea on Nicolandria and you want to see how this whole thing plays out, go ahead and hit that like button right now because this story gets wild.
January 11, 2026 brought Olandria Carthen to the red carpet at the Beverly Hilton in Beverly Hills for the Golden Globe Awards, and the entrance she made turned every head in the room. Christian Siriano designed her custom emerald green gown with a trumpet silhouette that featured a dramatic flared skirt, a boned corset-style bodice, and a layered neckline incorporating that semi-visible bra trend everyone's been wearing. The drop-waist silhouette screamed old Hollywood glamour, accessorized with AJ Yaffe earrings, an Annabella Chan ring, and an Anaya diamond collar necklace that caught every camera flash. Her hair sat in a chic, twisted chignon at the nape of her neck, and her makeup channeled classic old Hollywood vibes that fans immediately dubbed her Bama Mermaid era. Peacock's headline declared she made heads turn and jaws drop at the Golden Globes, while articles called it one of the most talked about looks of the night and described the appearance as jaw-dropping and a standout on the red carpet.
What got people talking even more than the dress was who wasn't standing next to her on that carpet. Nic didn't appear with her, and instead, Olandria posed with Heat and Rivalry star Hudson Williams while telling Harper's Bazaar she was manifesting a selfie with the actor. The speculation started immediately, with fans asking where Nic was, whether they'd broken up, and if something had gone wrong between them. Those Golden Globes questions weren't the first time fans had wondered if Nic and Alandria were still together, which is why during her red carpet interview with the New York Post, Olandria addressed the breakup rumors directly. She explained that they decided to prioritize their own solo careers first, which meant Nic doesn't always join her for red carpet appearances because they're both building individual brands and careers, and that means they're not going to be attached at the hip for every event. And speaking of not being attached at the hip, make sure you're attached to that subscribe button because we've got a lot more Nicolandria content coming your way.
Let's rewind to December 2025, when Nic already addressed these split rumors during a video call with Kim Kardashian and her daughter Northwest, who asked him point-blank if he'd broken up with Alandria. His response came quick and confident. "No, I didn't. Nicolandria 4L, meaning for life," which should have ended the speculation right there. Despite what social media detectives keep claiming, Nic and Alandria stand as one of only 2 remaining couples from Love Island USA Season 7 who are still together, with Clark Carraway and Taylor Williams making up the other surviving pair. The season's winners, Amaya Espinal and Brian Arenales, have broken up. Chelly Bisanthe and Ace Green called it quits, and Iris Kendall and Jose Pepe Garcia Gonzalez ended their relationship before Iris started dating TJ Palma. Nic and Alandria are beating the odds that destroyed every other couple from their season.
January 16, 2026 brought a Threads user who decided the world needed their unsolicited opinion about Nic and Olandria's relationship, typing out words that would spark the clapback heard around the internet. The comment read, "Olandria can do better than Nic. I like him and all, but he's bad for her brand. I can see her with a millionaire doctor or something." Bad for her brand, a millionaire doctor or something. This person looked at everything Olandria accomplished in 6 months and decided Nic, the man who stood by her side through all of it, somehow held her back from success. Nic's response came simple, direct, and honestly perfect when he wrote, "All she got was a millionaire nurse sad face emoji." Those words said everything, because Nic Vansteenberghe is a registered nurse who graduated from Florida Atlantic University with a nursing degree. And at 24 years old, standing 6 feet 2.5 inches tall, he's also built a career as a professional model. Calling himself a millionaire nurse pointed out the absurdity of wanting Olandria with a millionaire doctor when she's with a nurse who built his own successful career and is doing just fine. Biographical sources estimate Nic's net worth between $150,000 and $300,000 as of mid-2025. But beyond those numbers, we need to look at what he actually accomplished.
Nic Vansteenberghe entered the world on March 20, 2001 in Jacksonville, Florida, where his parents, Didier and Jennifer Becker, raised him alongside his sister Ella in a home that gave him Belgian heritage. Before Love Island changed everything, Nic worked as a model in Japan and had been modeling for Australian swimsuit brand Nicolandria since 2021, though he admitted in interviews that he was making enough money to travel and do what he wanted, but felt like he had no purpose, just partying and vacationing with no future plan and just going with the flow. The guy didn't even really know what Love Island was before joining the show, and now he's sitting on 1.9 million Instagram followers and 2.5 million TikTok followers. Management companies Next Model Management in Miami, DT Model Management, and Crawford Models all represent him, and he's worked with brands like Guess, Prada, and New Balance while building a presence that goes beyond just modeling.
Nicolandria gave him his own collection on their site where he features Olandria in his campaigns, and he's pursuing a DJ career while also running marathons because on November 2nd, 2025, he completed the New York City Marathon with Team Strava as his 3rd marathon overall. One of his previous races came as part of an Ironman competition. His goal for the NYC Marathon was finishing under 5 hours, and his previous marathon times hovered around 5 hours and 20 minutes. If you're impressed by a guy who can model, nurse, DJ, and run marathons, show some love by hitting that like button, because Nic's out here doing it all. Swimming added another layer to his athletic background since he trained with Loggerhead Aquatics and competed at the Florida High School 3A State Championship, where he finished 11th in the 100 back and 13th in the 200 IM. As of November 2025, he still lives with his parents in Jacksonville, Florida, not because he has to, but because that's his home base while traveling for work, which makes the bad for her brand comment even more ridiculous when you see everything he's built. Olandria Carthen came into this world on May 29, 1998 in Decatur, Alabama, and now calls Houston, Texas home after graduating from Tuskegee University with a bachelor's degree in logistics, materials, and supply chain management as a first-generation college graduate. Before Love Island changed her trajectory, Olandria worked as an elevator and escalator salesperson in a job she openly hated, saying she should not be selling elevators because it had to be better than dealing with pissed-off customers every day. When she walked into Love Island USA Season 7, her Instagram following sat at 13,000 people, but by the end of that 6-week season, she'd crossed 1 million followers. Today, her Instagram reaches approximately 2 million people, and her TikTok connects with 1.7 million followers. But the numbers only tell part of the story, because what Alandrea built in the 6 months since the Love Island finale on July 13, 2025, represents a career most influencers spend years trying to achieve.
September 2025 marked Olandria's runway debut at the Sergio Hudson Spring-Summer 2026 show during New York Fashion Week, followed by walks in the Off-White Spring 2026 show, the Alexander Wang Spring 2026 show, and the Theophilio Spring-Summer 2026 show that earned recognition from Vogue for having some of the best beauty looks. UGG's 2025 Fluff Mama Global campaign featured her alongside Reebok's Angel Reese 1 campaign, and she attended Brandon Blackwood events, the CFDA Awards, and the Bridgerton Season 4 premiere in Paris wearing a Raoul Mishra dress with a face veil that stopped everyone in their tracks.
Matthew and Reginald Reisman, her styling duo, reached out during Love Island itself after watching her on the show and seeing what they described as a standout of grace, integrity, and beauty who really resonated with them. Glamour magazine put her on their cover with Nic in December 2025. Ebony's 2025 Power issue featured her alongside Iman, Tiana Taylor, Tracy Ellis Ross, Shaquille O'Neal, and Lonnie G. Bunch III, and she earned a nomination for the Ebony Power 100 while also appearing in Cosmopolitan, Sports Illustrated, and L'Officiel USA.
The awards and honors that piled up in just 2025 alone tell a story that sounds impossible for someone 6 months removed from a reality show. October 20th brought her recognition in Cosmopolitan's Z-Stars class of 2025 for Gen Z creators who define trends and influence millions. November 8th named her the Route 100 honoree alongside Kamala Harris, Beyoncé, Denzel Washington, and Kendrick Lamar. And November 4th saw her attend the Glamour Women of the Year Awards before December 5th delivered the Women in Business Power and Purpose Award at the Harvard Undergraduate Women in Business Annual Gala. December 29th added her name to the Revolt Power list as a Creators category honoree alongside Kai Cenat and Drewski. Ad Age called her one of the top 5 breakout creators of 2025 for taking a deliberate approach to transforming momentary fame into a sustainable personal brand. And Wikipedia added her to the official It Girl list, right next to Grace Jones, Iman, and Ayo Edebiri.
Olandria isn't just showing up to events looking pretty and collecting awards because she's using her platform to advocate for education and uplift young women in ways that separate her from typical reality TV stars. October 6th, 2025, brought her to her conference's Butterfly Tour stop at Texas A&M University as the keynote speaker advocating for higher education. October 23rd put her at ZCon in Los Angeles for an event focused on building a better digital future, and September 2025 saw her partner with Microsoft Copilot to highlight Tuskegee University and the importance of HBCUs. And if you think a Love Island contestant speaking at Harvard sounds fake, stick around because I'm about to prove it's real. But first, go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss any of these wild celebrity stories.
Harvard Business School invited Olandria to speak on December 5, 2025, about leadership, authenticity, and her experience navigating professional spaces as a Black woman in a session titled Forging Her Own Path. Fans nicknamed the event Bama Woods as a reference to Legally Blonde, and 6 months after finishing second place on a reality dating show, Olandria stood in front of Harvard Business School students sharing her journey. Harvard Business School invited Olandria to speak on December 5, 2025, about leadership, authenticity, and her experience navigating professional spaces as a Black woman in a session titled Forging Her Own Path. Fans nicknamed the event Bama Woods as a reference to Legally Blonde, and 6 months after finishing second place on a reality dating show, Olandria stood in front of Harvard Business School students sharing her journey. Digital Brand Architects, owned by United Talent Agency, manages Olandria's career and helped her secure brand partnerships with Amazon, Hyundai, Microsoft, Vaseline, Aveeno, Shea Moisture, EOS, Raising Cane's, DoorDash, Shark Beauty, Uber, Liquid IV, Kulani Kinney's, Agua de Kafer, Sweetgreen, and Snapchat, including a partnership with Snapchat's CEO himself. NYX Cosmetics brought the most notable partnership when Nic and Olandria collaborated on the Nicolandria lip combo that included 2 butter lip glosses in lava cake and spiked toffee, plus a slim lip pencil in espresso for $15. Hours passed before the combo sold out completely. Not days, but actual hours, triggering back orders before the official announcement even went out, and forcing NYX to announce a restock because of overwhelming demand, while also throwing in a virtual fireside chat with the couple as a bonus.
When someone claims Nic is bad for her brand, remember he's literally part of one of her most successful brand deals that sold out in hours and required restocking because fans couldn't get enough of Nicolandria. Love Island USA Season 7 aired from June to July 2025 on Peacock after filming in Fiji for 6 weeks, with host Ariana Madix guiding contestants toward the finale on July 13, 2025. Day 1 paired Nic with Belle A. Walker and Olandria with Taylor Williams in what seemed like standard Love Island coupling, until a blindfold challenge changed everything when Nic kissed Olandria in a moment that went viral across social media. Nic later coupled up with Sierra Ortega, while Olandria maintained her connection with Taylor Williams, setting up what looked like 2 separate love stories until Casa Amor arrived, and both Nic and Olandria got eliminated and dumped from the villa. Producers offered them a chance to return if they coupled up together, and they accepted, returning to share what fans now call the iconic Soul Ties kiss that sparked the beginning of Nicolandria.
They stayed platonic initially because both wanted to pursue their original connections, with Nic exploring things with Sierra and Olandria seeing where things went with Taylor. But July 2025 brought Sierra Ortega's removal from the show after anti-Asian slur posts resurfaced from her past. Taylor chose Clark Carraway over Olandria, leaving both Nic and Olandria free to explore their connection seriously. And during the final week, they became an official couple that fans dubbed Nicolandria. Ariana Madix admitted on AfterSun she wished they could explore their chemistry. Fans created edit videos of their moments together, and watch parties spread across the country as the couple finished as runners-up, while Amaya Espinal and Brian Arenales took the win. Nic said in an interview that in reality, he was her secret admirer from day one, and CNN described them as not just a cultural phenomenon, but a beloved part of reality couple history.
Here's what people misunderstand about Nic and Alandrea. They don't live together at all, because Nic's home base remains Jacksonville, Florida, where he still lives with his parents, while Alandrea maintains her residence in Houston, Texas, since they both have jobs and responsibilities in their respective cities. Alandrea explained that being from the Deep South makes it hard to jump to the West Coast because it doesn't feel like home, and going there for work makes sense, but going there to live and for tax purposes doesn't add up. Making a long-distance relationship work while pursuing demanding careers isn't easy, and Alandrea called the attention and scrutiny draining during their Glamour magazine interview from December 2025. She described constant check-ins, asking how each other's mental state is and whether they're okay, wishing they didn't have to do that as much, but thanking God they have each other because she doesn't know what they'd do without each other when dealing with everything.
Boundaries became necessary with fans and media, so Nic asks before outings whether they're doing pictures that day. And if Alandrea says no, Nic becomes the vocal one, telling fans there won't be pictures today. Alandrea put it plainly that you have to set those boundaries because some days you really don't feel like engaging with anyone. And Nic helps her manage social media stress by literally taking her phone out of her hand and making her put it down when he sees her getting lost in comments and stuck in her own head. If you're relating to the struggle of dealing with social media comments, join the club and hit that subscribe button so we can all suffer through celebrity drama together.
Alandrea became intentional about controlling her own narrative after realizing how the show edited her story, and she described it as the most fun part because at first she felt upset at the thoughts people had about her. She realized viewers were only going off what they were seeing and what they were shown, and at that point it became up to her to control the narrative and show them the real her, the part that's not edited down to fit a reality TV storyline. Accusations that their relationship is fake have followed them since the show ended, and Alandrea addressed it directly by asking why they would fake something so weird and why they'd get their parents so involved and caught up in their story when it doesn't even make sense. Nic added that they know what they have, and Alandrea continued by saying none of it is fake or forced, because it would be hard to force such a bond for 6 weeks on TV, and people would be able to see through that fakeness immediately. Both mothers started their own bond by talking before they even met in person, and when they finally met face-to-face, they loved each other immediately, providing what Olandria called insight or stability for the relationship that helps them navigate everything thrown at them. Nic and Olandria handle opportunities differently, with Olandria saying she would take her time with back-office things because she's deliberate and strategic about what gets a yes, while Nic admitted he would say yes to everything for events and experiences that come his way. The Snapchat headquarters visit that Nic arranged shows how their different approaches complement each other, because that visit led directly to Olandria landing a partnership with the company that she might not have pursued on her own.
December 2025 brought Nic's reflection that things became easier to obtain, and all the goals he had for being a DJ and starting on YouTube got propelled because of the show's success. They complement each other by pushing each other forward and supporting individual goals while maintaining their relationship across state lines and different career paths. Nic and Olandria sparked cultural conversations about interracial relationships and the supportive partnership they model in public, giving their story a layer that goes beyond typical reality TV romance. Olandria opened up about what representing Black women in these spaces means to her, explaining that before they came into this world, Black women already had a label because people are so quick to label them as angry Black women, and she had to put on a strong suit while in the villa.
Her relationship with Nic allowed her to let him take the wheel, and he helped set up 2 photo shoots for her to model in Europe while she built her career. She explained that she's not just representing Love Island in these campaigns, but also representing Black women who watch her and see themselves in her success. Successful HBCU alumni status gave Olandria a unique position because when you are a successful and gainful HBCU alumni, you get a level of acclaim and opportunity that sets you apart. Articles placed her alongside notable HBCU alumni like Terrence J., Lance Gross, Megan Thee Stallion, Anthony Anderson, Taraji P. Henson, and DJ Envy, pointing out that she made her way onto this same list in only half a year. Her focus on HBCU advocacy and higher education promotion carries weight because she's a first-generation college graduate herself who understands the struggle and knows what that achievement means for communities watching her rise.
Let's return to that original comment claiming Olandria can do better than Nic because he's bad for her brand, and she should be with a millionaire doctor or something, because articles responding to this criticism pointed out that Nic isn't doing too badly in the career department himself. One article stated that Olandria is not just famous because she's pretty, but that her rise is due to clear, meticulous planning, a leaning into advocacy, and an understanding that you don't have to jump at every opportunity to maintain relevance because she and her team are intentional. The real question came down to this. If her success is predicated on her beauty, why does it seem like she's the most prominent alumna of this past season through these past 6 months? That question exposes the weakness in the argument that Nic holds her back, because if Olandria's success came from being pretty or being with the right person, she wouldn't be outpacing everyone else from her season who had the same opportunity. And if you're still watching this video, you're clearly invested in this couple, so why not make it official and subscribe so you never miss an update on Nicolandria.
Olandria is talented, strategic, hardworking, and intentional about her career, and Nic supports her in building that success rather than holding her back from it. Less than a year took her from selling elevators to walking at New York Fashion Week, to speaking at Harvard, to attending the Golden Globes, and she appeared on the cover of Glamour magazine with Nic right there beside her, proving they're building their brands together. January 2026 marks approximately 6 months since the Love Island finale, and both Nic and Alandrea continue pursuing individual career paths while maintaining their relationship across state lines and different time zones. They chose not to participate in Beyond the Villa Season 2, a new show following Season 7 Islanders' post-Villa that's set to premiere in 2026 on Peacock, showing they're focused on building careers outside the reality TV bubble that created their fame. Fame, public scrutiny, mental health challenges, invasive fans, and breakup rumors keep coming at them, and they're navigating all of it together while building something real. When Nic responded, all she got was a millionaire nurse with a sad face emoji, he wasn't just defending himself, but pointing out the absurdity of people who think they know what's best for someone else's relationship based on social media posts and red carpet appearances. The suggestion that Alandrea should be with a millionaire doctor raises the question of what a millionaire doctor would give her that Nic doesn't already provide. Nic is building his own career while supporting Alandrea's ambitions, helping her set boundaries with invasive fans, taking her phone away when she's spiraling from negative comments, and helping her navigate the mental health challenges of sudden fame while their families love each other and they check in constantly about their mental states.
Alandrea doesn't need a millionaire doctor to validate her success because she's creating her own success through deliberate choices and strategic planning. She's using her platform to advocate for higher education and HBCUs while inspiring young Black women and proving that reality TV fame can transform into something meaningful and lasting when you approach it with intention. Nic stands right there with her, building his own path while supporting hers. And the idea that he's bad for her brand ignores everything both of them accomplished in 6 months. Reducing Alandrea to someone who needs a certain type of partner to be successful dismisses everything she's proven about being successful on her own terms. And reducing Nic to his bank account or his profession ignores that he's a multifaceted person with his own goals, talents, and achievements that don't depend on who he's dating.
Relationships aren't business transactions. Love isn't a branding opportunity, and reducing Nicolandria's relationship to whether Nic is good enough for Alandrea's brand completely misses what makes their connection special to begin with. January 16, 2026 brought Nic's response of all she got was a millionaire nurse with a sad face emoji, as both a joke and a point about how Alandrea chose him not because of what he could do for her career, but because of who he is and how he supports her. 6 months since Love Island ended brought Alandrea more achievement than most people see in a lifetime, with red carpets walked, magazine covers graced, Harvard speeches delivered, and a brand built that's intentional, meaningful, and impactful. Nic has been there for all of it, not as an accessory or a burden, but as a partner who cheers her on while building his own empire alongside hers.
They're one of only 2 couples from their season still together, navigating long distance and demanding careers in relentless public scrutiny while setting boundaries, supporting each other's mental health, and building something real. When someone says Nic is bad for Alandrea's brand, the receipts tell a completely different story about a brand that's thriving, a career that's skyrocketing, advocacy work that's meaningful, and Nic right there cheering her on. All she got was a millionaire nurse, and honestly, that sounds pretty good when you look at everything they've built together in just 6 months. What do you think about Nic and Alandrea proving that love and career success can coexist, or do you think they should handle their relationship differently? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into Nicolandria, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe for more celebrity news and reality TV breakdowns. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video, and I'll see you in the next one.